Hello everyone, my name is Arya Ajay Kurcharkar and I am a legal intern at Lexis and Company and a student of 4th year BA LLB at GR Kare College of Law under the Goa University. Today I am going to be talking on the topic of insanity as a ground of defense under Indian Penal Code. And the purpose of making this video is to spread awareness about uh, the general defense of insanity as a ground for defense under the Indian Penal Code. So, insanity, as defined under Section 84 of Indian Penal Code, as a defense of the criminal prosecution, is embodied in Section 84 of the Indian Penal Code. This runs as follows: nothing is an offense which is done by a person who, at the time of doing it, by reason of unsoundness of mind, is incapable of knowing the nature of the act, and that is he is doing what is either wrong or contrary to law. So, in order to get benefit of the provisions of Section 84 IPC, three elements are necessary, any one of which must have been established by the accused. That the accused, because of unsoundness of mind, was incapable of knowing the nature of the act, or that the act was contrary to law, or that the act was wrong. In the case of unsoundness of mind, the standard of proof required from the accused is not the standard of proof required from the prosecution. Hale observed that dementia is of three kinds, namely natural, idiocy, accidental, and acquired drunkenness. The dementia means insanity due to disease or injury. In a very old case, it was held that where a man is totally deprived of his understanding and memory and does not know what he is doing any more than an infant or a wild beast, he will properly be exempted from the punishment of the law, which was held on the case of R versus Arnold. But the relating law to unsoundness of mind was finally settled in the McNaughton case. In this case, the House of Lords submitted to the judges certain abstract questions respecting persons affected with insane delusions. The replies given by the 15 judges bench may be summed up thus: every man is presumed to be sane and to possess a sufficient degree of reason to be responsible for his crimes until the contrary be proved to the satisfaction of a jury. To establish a defense on the ground of insanity, it must be clearly shown that at the time of committing the act, the party accused was laboring under such a defect of reason, from disease of the mind, as not to know the nature and the quality of the act he was doing, or if he did know this, not to know that what he was doing was wrong morally. As to his knowledge of wrongfulness of the act, the judge said the accused was conscious that the act was one which he sought not to do, and if the act was at the time contrary to the law, he is punishable. Where a criminal act is committed by a man under some insane delusion as to the surrounding facts, which conceals from him the true nature of the act he is doing, he will be under the same degree of responsibility as if the facts had been as he imagined them to be. He may, for instance, kill under the imagination either that he is an executioner lawfully hearing out of judicial sentence, or on the other hand, merely that the person killed had once cheated him at cards. It may be observed that the Indian law on insanity is based on the above propositions, which was laid down in the McNaughton's case. Unsoundness of mind. The term unsoundness of mind is defined under the Indian Penal Code. Sir James Stephen explains it: a state of mind in which one or more of the above named functions, that is, feeling of not knowing, emotions, feelings, and willing, is performed in an abnormal manner and not performed at all by reason of some disease of the brain or nervous system. Insanity has been very widely interpreted to include lunacy, mental derangement, mental disorder, madness, etc. But here we are not concerned with all those types of insanity known to medical science. The only unsoundness of mind that would result in the complete excuse would be that unsoundness of mind by reason of which the accused was incapable of knowing the nature of the act, or that he was doing that what was either wrong or contrary to law. It may be noted that is a difference between legal insanity and medical insanity, and it is only legal insanity which exculpates a accused person on basis of unsoundness of mind. There can be no legal insanity unless the cognitive faculties of the accused are so completely impaired as to render him incapable of understanding the consequences of the act. Please do like, share, subscribe and comment on my video, and do like and subscribe our channel XClick, and make sure to press the bell icon to get notifications when we post a video. Also, please give a feedback on this video and previous videos which you can see on this YouTube channel. Also, if you have any questions related to this video or any previous videos, please post it in the comment section below. I will reply as soon as possible. Lastly, this video doesn't solicit any type of promotion or advertisement as per the guidelines of Bar Council of India, and the sole purpose of making this video is for educational purposes only. Thank you.